Is it the happiest place on Earth or the most terrifying, demonic, cursed place on Earth? What about if you're casually riding a children's ride and come across human remains? Mega yikes, right? Well, contrary to popular belief, there may just be some sinister, unnatural occurrences that happen at Disney theme parks, which are technically supposed to be the happiest places on Earth. So friends, here are our top 10 picks for the weirdest, most curse-like happenings at various Disney parks. Before we dive in and discuss, go ahead and click subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you'll never miss out on our future videos. And give this video a thumbs up if Disney parks are still your go-to happiest place on Earth, even if you might see a ghost. Boo! Let's get to it. Number 10. It's a small and creepy world after all. We all know the song, and I'll spare you from singing it right now, but it talks about how we're all the same despite being from different places around the world. What a concept! Loving instead of hating. Honestly guys, it takes way more effort to hate than to love, so let's just be nice and love each other, okay? Anyway, back to the point. It's been said over the years by various staff members that the Small World ride at Disneyland has some haunted tendencies. For example, those little dolls have been known to blink after being unplugged. What? And apparently overnight they come to life, and in the morning they have been found in completely different spots than where they had been left the night before. Ugh. Number 9. The Seance Book. So apparently the Seance Book is a real book of curses and spells and brings dead people back to life, the whole nine, that was said to have been owned by real witches back in the 1300s. I just feel like with a book that old, the dust alone would be enough of a curse on me. I mean, allergies? Anyone? Well, things would happen, like the table the book was on flipped over on its own, and at one point the book literally just disappeared. I mean, like, where did it go, you guys? Like, it just disappeared. Number 8. The Pirates and Bones of the Caribbean. Okay, so this one gave me the heebie-jeebies, and now I feel like I can never ride this ride the same way again. So apparently when they were building this very popular ride, they wanted things to appear as real and authentic as possible. So they did things like use the actual treasure chest used in The Curse of the Black Pearl, which is pretty cool. Oh, and real human bones, because the fake skeletons didn't look authentic enough. Can you imagine that interaction with the groundskeeper of a cemetery or something? Oh, no big deal, we work for Disney, and we were wondering if we could have a couple bones. Oh, we'll pay for them, of course. Well, next time you ride Pirates of the Caribbean, just know some of those bones are real human remains. Number 7. The Abandoned Island. A lot of weird things happened in the 70s, like don't even get me started on hair trends. But in 1974, Disney embarked on a whole new adventure and created a private pirate-themed island as a theme park attraction, which later on became a wildlife reserve for rare and exotic animals ranging from lemurs to flamingos. Well, there was something off about the staff, and there were many reports of animal abuse, and in general the island wasn't super popular, so it closed down. Well, later on, a photographer went to the island to capture some images. So, can someone tell me why the lights were on, even though the island had been abandoned for a very, very long time? Like, exactly what ghost is paying that electricity bill? There were also some odd noises coming from near and far, and it's said that Disney mascots roamed the island, hungry for trespassers' blood. Also, alligators. Yeah, there are real alligators still living there, so I just wouldn't go there if I were you. But tell us, friends, would you take the plunge regardless and visit the island to see what spooky adventures await you? Definitely let us know in the comments. Number 6. The Tower of Terror's Bellhop Ghost. And we're back to the terrifying rides, indeed being more terrifying than we actually thought. This one is both sad and scary, honestly. So a while ago, one of the park staff members acting as a bellhop just randomly dropped dead in the middle of the day one day. And since then, people swear they've seen that exact bellhop lurking in the shadows of the Tower of Terror. He doesn't hurt anybody or anything, but it's a little creepy. Man, I wonder what happened and why he just randomly died. Super odd. Number 5. More human remains, but this time in the Haunted Mansion. Yes, friends, I've already discussed the bones and pirates, but there are multiple ways to be escorted into the afterlife, or whatever you believe, and another way is through cremation. So weirdly enough, people are so in love with the Haunted Mansion ride at Disney parks, they insist on their ashes being scattered within the ride. Oh, you think it just happened once or twice? No, park officials have come across multiple bouts of human ashes, and it's become a bit of a recurring issue, to the point where they actually have to keep an eye out on the ride for this sort of thing every day when people are riding it. Life is weird, man. Number 4, Space Mountain and Mr. One Way. Friends, we've talked about rides so far where it kind of makes sense for them to be haunted. Like, we're not that surprised by them, right? Well, how about frickin' Space Mountain? You definitely wouldn't expect there to be a weird ghost named Mr. One Way lurking in the starry shadows of the galaxy. But sure enough, the large man with red eyes and red hair does indeed exist. And people don't even realize when they sit next to him that he's a ghost because he appears totally human-like. So when he disappears in the middle of a ride, naturally you're gonna get some Space Mountain photos of riders looking a little pale. I feel like I'd be sick right then and there. Number 3, The Crying Child at the Haunted Mansion. Okay, just that title in and of itself, The Crying Child at the Haunted Mansion, it's just a hard no on my end. There's nothing creepier in my opinion than a child in a haunted or horror film. Just no. Well, apparently if all the other weird stuff going on in the Haunted Mansion wasn't enough for you, we're bringing you some more. There's a ghost that inhabits the ride, crying at the end of the ride for his mommy. Ugh, this is making my skin crawl. After his mother did literally what we said people do, which is spread his ashes in the ride. Well, now he's apparently stuck there or something, so whatever needs to happen to get this child past the ride and help him stop crying, it needs to happen, because I am just not about creepy crying children in an already haunted house. Just no. Number 2, The Ghost of Walt Disney himself. Okay, so whenever Walt Disney used to visit Disneyland, the light in the second story of the Main Street Fire Department would be lit up as a way to let park staff know that the big boss was in town. Well, after his death, obviously, there was no need for that light to be turned on. Well, one day, it creepily turned on by itself. Okay, no biggie, a staff member turned it back off. Well, it turned back on again, by itself. So was Walt Disney back again, just not in human form? We don't know. But apparently now they just leave the light on all the time in honor of Walt. But how creepy is it for staff members to know his ghost is always present, just watching them, all the time? Number 1, Legal Death. That sounds so weird, right? Well, here's what's actually weird. No one can technically be declared dead at the happiest place on Earth. So despite all the tragic and odd accidents at the park that result in death, they aren't technically legally allowed to happen there. Huh? So what happens is when people die, they're removed from the park boundaries and then declared dead. I don't know if this was established as some liability or PR thing, but it's pretty shady that they're oh no, we're not responsible for this. They actually technically died outside of the premises, la-di-da-di-da. Well, friends, there you have it. The eerie, creepy stories and surroundings of the everlastingly cursed Disney parks. Friends, do you believe in these curses, and do you know of other creepy stories from haunted Disney parks? Leave us a comment below. As usual, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell as we bring you more juicy info, gossip, and speculation about the shows and stars you know and love. Until next time!